the first thing that I noticed, I don't know how many of you saw the video, but the video is with sound. And you can see them screaming in Arabic. We're going to speak about what they said. And they're pushing Shiri from one side to another, and she's holding the two babies like lioness. And if you see her face, if you look on her, she's screaming. She's screaming, but she didn't make any voice. Nothing come out from her. I saw that she wanted to protect their kids so much. She was afraid to make a noise, so maybe somebody gonna hurt her or take the kids from her. So she was silent, but you can see the face, she's screaming. And if you know Shiri, she doesn't look like how she looked on the 7th of October. It's not, before I saw the video, I saw two pictures. The first picture, I was scrolling on Telegram and see all the horrific videos that they published, and I saw the picture with the two kids, and I just stopped because of the color of their hair. And I saw the first picture, and I saw somebody that looked familiar, but I didn't know that it's Shiri. His face was so scared and not as I used to see her. So, and I wanted to speak about what they said in Arabic. They said, leave her alone. Let's show the world that we are merciful, that we are not bad people. And that's what they scream in Arabic. And in the end, 3 weeks, somewhere about 3 weeks after they've been kidnapped, they've been killed, they've been murdered with bare hands. And not just they've been murdered, they hurt their bodies so badly that it took hours to identify them. And they did that because, as much as we can understand, they tried to make it look like they've been hurt from IDF bombing or something like that. So think about how badly the bodies were one that we couldn't identify them. So this is the people that we are dealing with. And when I'm saying that the world choosing to be like the three monkeys, it's because of the fact, okay, that everybody's judging and blaming Israel. It's a fact that even in war there is laws, and you cannot kidnap babies and kids from their cribs, okay? You cannot do that. And in fact, it's happened, and the world just keeps silence. When I'm saying the world, I'm speaking about the politicians, I'm speaking about the things, the people that should have screamed. There is a fact that women been raped. A lot of women been raped on the 7th of October. There's a fact that our women that been kidnapped to Gaza, been sexually molested over there and been raped over there. And all those Me Too organizations that if I'm gonna just touch somebody in the elbow in my office, okay, everybody will scream that I'm sexually molesting her and that I'm a rapist and I don't know what, and I'll be like fired in a couple of hours. And there is a fact that they've been raped and daily for a very long period of time, and nobody said anything. There is a fact that the Red Cross didn't visit them even once until now. They're not getting the medicine. There is people that need medicine, life-saving medicine, before the 7th of October, and they're not getting them. Nobody knows what's their situation. Nobody knows nothing about. And everybody's going outside in your countries right now. I have to say something that maybe gonna try to understand what I'm saying. I'm not speaking about Muslims. I'm speaking about radical Muslim organization. You open your country doors to them. You open your city's doors for them. And it's just a matter of time. You have to understand that. It's like, sometimes it seems like something that's far away from you. It's just a matter of time. Until you will hear a knock on your door, and what happens to us on the 7th of October will happen in your cities, in your homes. It's happened in the US with the 9/11. It's happened in Germany in Christmas when in the Christmas market there was a suicide attack that they run over people. That's what they're doing. They don't want to live among us. They don't want to be part of us. They want to put the Sharia laws, and the Sharia laws mean death. Okay? Everybody's screaming, I'm pro-Palestine. when you say I'm pro-Palestine, you have to understand what you're screaming about. You're screaming about people that saying out loud that if you're not like them, exactly like them, okay, you have no chance to live. You have no reason to. And they will kill you. That's what they're saying. And people are still shouting outside, free Palestine. If you are gay, they will throw you off a roof. If you're just lucky, that's what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do before. If you are a woman, you have no right of driving, you have no right of walking, you have no right of dressing as you want, you have no right of nothing. So when you're screaming on the street in their names, I'm trying to understand what's going on to your people in your countries when they're screaming that. And I really try to understand that. I said it once. Somebody told me that Israel is very a bad place to be in, and we are attacking everybody. The IDF is the Israeli Defense Force. It's not the Israeli attack force. Okay, we never, I think, maybe only once in the history of Israel, we started a war. We only defended ourselves. It's a fact. It's a fact that the IDF sending flyers and making phone calls and sending like the smallest missiles on the roof just for people to evacuate before we attack you. It's a fact. It's a fact that nobody in Israel wants to see citizens being killed. If we wanted to make genocide like everybody scream, we can finish the thing with Gaza like in 2 weeks from. 2 weeks, we can erase Gaza. We have enough force to do that. Nobody's trying to do that. I was in the military. I was not now, but I was fighting in Lebanon Second War and a lot of things. We never tried to eat civilians. Never. And I started to say something. Somebody asked me about Israel, and I said, "Tell me one name of Jewish terror organization. Tell me one name of Christian terror organization, or I don't know, Buddhist or whatever. But when you speak about this radical Islam, there is like a huge list of Boko Haram, of Hmas, of Hezbollah, of ISIS, of I don't know. The list is just going and going. That's what we need to remember. That's what we need to remember. And for Shiri, the kids, unfortunately, it's too late. Yarden came back after 484 days of captivity. He lost 30 kilos of his weight. He wasn't a fat guy. So it's a lot. And I met a lot of people that came back from there. And one of the first thing that you're seeing is that their eyes, they have no color in their eyes. Their eyes are black. There is no color. And you can see that the soul is like left the body. And it sometimes took days and sometimes it's taking weeks until the color of the eyes starting to get back, and you can see that it's starting to speak with us and acting like a normal people. And I don't know who of you saw the Yarden was in the Astor Square a couple of days ago, 2 days ago. And I don't know if you saw the video, but he's looking all over. He's like in a very, very bad mental situation. It's not only that he came back from captivity, he came back for nothing. But I'm happy to say that he's strong and he choose to live. So hopefully he will survive this also. I have nothing more to say unless just remember that you're a journalist. You're the voices. You're the voices. So speak up, and speak up the truth. Last story. I met somebody from the European Union. A very specific somebody is in a very high position. And we spoke, and he started saying things about Israel not giving enough humanitarian aid to Gaza, and that in Israel this and Israel that. And everything is Israel, Israel, Israel. And when he stopped talking, I said, okay, I asked if I can speak, and I say, okay, you can say what you want. And then I said, everything that you said right now is a bullshit. I told him in this one, and just started to give him facts about the amount of trucks that get inside Gaza. Okay, that I have to say that there is more trucks that get inside Gaza now than before the 7th of October, okay? And a lot of facts that I started to give them. And he didn't say anything. And when we finished the meeting, we sat like in a huge round table, and he came all the way to me. The security guard that didn't want him to come to me but he came to me. He shook my hand, and he whispered in my ear, "I know you're right, but I can't say it out loud." And this is somebody from the Europe Union. This is somebody that that is the voice. Is the voice. So don't lose your values for a job. Don't lose your values for money or more followers. You're a journalist. Say the truth. Even if the truth is something that will cost you.
Have you met Yarden, have you met the husband of Shiri?
Yeah, of course.
How is he coping?
As I said, he came back. First, he came back he went through a lot. So when he came back here, the first question, of course, that he asked is, what about Shiri and the kids? And even though Hamas told them in last November that the Shiri and the kids been killed by Israeli bombing, he still kept the faith that maybe they are lying, because this is Hamas. That's what he does. He's lying. And he was with us like for I don't remember exactly some kind of 2 weeks that we still try to understand what happened with them. And again, you have to understand, it's not just that he was in captivity. It's not just that he lost his family. He's feeling guilty that he didn't succeed to protect them as a man. It's something that it's in us. And the second thing is to know that they've been killed so brutally and without knowing what happened to them before, what happened to Shiri before, if they killed first of all the kids and then Shiri, and then the kids. There is a lot of questions that run into our heads, but we try not to think about it because this is a very difficult question. So, yeah.
Has he told you anything about like his time in Gaza that you're able to discuss with us?
Yeah, he was. Most of the time he was in tunnels. He was. In the beginning, he was in a dungeon inside of tunnels, and then he was in a tunnel without food, without daylight. If they move them from one place to another, it's usually at night. And the last couple of months, he was with Ofer Calderon that came back with him in the same day. He said that he'd been molested a lot, especially psychologically. With them saying that the kids been killed and other things. It's not, people have to understand, it's not like they travel to Europe or to US or I don't know what and been arrested and they're in prison with 3 meals a day and with showers and toilets and everything. They didn't see daylight for 484 days. They didn't eat for days and days. There was days that they didn't eat anything because they just didn't give them anything. Yeah.
Do you know if he was alone in captivity or together with other people?
As much as I know, it was always somebody was with him. He met when he was transferred, so he met people, and in the last period, he was with the Calderon in the last couple of months.
Did the IDF tell you at any point that they thought that Shiri and the kids were alive, or did they not know until the day they returned?
The IDF, there was the announcement of Hamas in last November. And then the IDF told us that they think that they really been killed, okay? But they didn't know anything. They didn't know how, when, if they really been killed or not. There is no evidence. There is no pictures or DNA or whatever. It just like, it was the smallest information. Okay, it was the smallest information that gave them like the thought that they've been killed. So we couldn't do anything with it because it's just like a rumor. So we kept fighting we kept fighting. I can say that even when they brought the bodies, I didn't believe that those are the bodies. And unfortunately, we discovered that they lied about Shiri's body. So when they lied about Shiri's body, I said, okay, so Shiri is alive. I could feel her. I really could feel. I always, people told me, the IDF said that she probably been killed, so why are you still fighting? I said, I can feel it. So when they said it's not Shiri's body, I said, okay, she's gonna come back alive. Unfortunately.
Why do you think they made that? On purpose?
Listen, they're so evil that nothing that they're gonna do is gonna surprise me. Nothing. The mind is thinking like in a very different way than we do. So it could have been a mistake, but I don't think it was a mistake. They knew what they do.
Yeah, I know people who were prisoners of war in Vietnam. Their families were thousands of miles away back in the States. So it was frustrating, but they were on the other side of the world. How frustrating is it for family members, but for you, to know that the hostages are only a couple of hours away? They're just right over there, and that, like, why can't we just go get them? Because, I mean, even though, like, realistically, it's not an option, just the fact that you could get in your car and drive 2 hours and be where they're at right now. But you can't, obviously. Does it just drive everybody crazy?
It's not even 2 hours. Because, no, I'm going to say something. Shiri's parents also been murdered, okay? In the last 2 weeks, we thought that they've been kidnapped. All the IDF, everybody thought that they've been kidnapped. And after 2 weeks, we found their bodies, okay? Shiri has only one sister. Her name is Dana. Dana lives in a moshav that called Yesha. It's like 1 kilometer from Nir Oz. She get back there a long time ago. And it's like from where she living to where Shiri was, 15 minutes. If you go like for 5 minutes drive, you can just look on the area that Shiri was in. It's not like you looking far away from it. It's something that you can touch.
Right.
And this is the problem. We could save them. We could get inside and save everybody. But then we were killing civilians. And we avoiding saving our people to avoid killing civilians.
Right.
And people doesn't understand that. She just doesn't understand that. And they're choosing to say that Israel is killing civilians. But think about it. We have 59 people right now over there. We can save some of them. Some of them are bodies, so we have no problem to go and get them out because nobody can hurt them anymore. And we're still choosing not to do that because we know that if you go inside to some places, Gazan civilians will be hurt.
Is it the fact that a lot of the rest of the world, including the United States, unfortunately, has been sort of hamstringing or like putting pressure on them not to?
This is what I said about the three monkeys.
Yeah.
Because there is no other. Show me. I don't know where all of you came from. Tell me one country in the world that would allow somebody to fire one missile to her property, to her land, and not react. One missile, smallest missile. Show me one other country of the world that's gonna happen if the 7th of October happened to her in her borders, okay? And the rest of the world will say, "Oh, you have to calm down. You can't do anything. You have to stay down, okay? And just wait to see what's gonna happen." There is no such thing in the world. In the UN, there was in the last I think year or 2 years, and there was 180 decisions against Israel. And all the things that happened in Iran and Syria and Iraq and everything, there was 3 decisions. There was 3 decisions. It looks like, people that doesn't know Israel, okay, and see all the times that people speaking against Israel and Israel is in Israel this and Israel that. If you look on the map, we are like the smallest pin. It looks like the globe is us.
Just, Mr. President, I want to thank you to talk us about this issue. Now we see the protests for the hostages to make an agreement with the Hmas to free the hostages. How do you feel now? Do you want an agreement, or do you think that it's not the way to go?
My personal belief was, because I know what we're dealing with, is that we have to get them on their knees and beg us to stop. And this is the only way that we can make a deal. The first deal was this. That's what the first deal in last November happened because of that, because the situation in Gaza was very bad, and Hamas started to feel that he's losing his position. So he offered the first deal. He offered the first deal. But now the world give them a backwind. When President Biden, Hamas made an election that there is 30,000 people that have been killed in Gaza. And in the same day or day after, President Biden go out to the media and said there's 30,000 people that have been killed in Gaza. First of all, nobody knew the numbers. But let's say that that was really 30,000 people that have been killed in Gaza. How many of them are terrorists? How many of them been killed directly by Hamas? Because there is footage of them, videos of them until today, shooting their own people on the street just because they try to run away from places that IDF came, or they try to get the humanitarian aid. They're shooting their own people on the street. And how many of them been killed by the IDF maybe, but the IDF asked them to leave. I have 4 kids. I don't know if you have kids. I have 4 kids. In my kids' room there is dolls, there is games, there is, my smallest daughter's kids is pink. It's like, you go inside and you are gonna get in like flash of pink, okay? And when we went to their homes, underneath the cribs, you can see missiles. You can see guns and weapons, and underneath the buildings there is like dungeons of weapons. You're from Italy, from your accent, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have. I don't know if you're building like missiles. I think not. I don't think you have in your house any missiles or RPGs or whatever. I don't think that you have them.
I hope so.
And this is a fact. That's what we got. That's what they have over there. And then they ask us why you're bombing the building. Bombing the building because it's weapons. Okay? And some of the buildings are being destroyed in Gaza. Not being destroyed by us. It was destroyed because it was booby trapped. And nobody cares. Nobody cares that Hamas bombed the building. Like they did in the hospital, by the way, that they fired the missiles and killed 500 people in the hospitals, and immediately the BBC went out and said, Israel killed everybody. Yeah.
Is there, and I'm so sorry to have to ask this question.
You can ask everything.
Is there any details about the murder of Shiri's babies that weren't made public that you can tell us about versus what the international media knows?
Yeah, I didn't see the report. I didn't see that. I just know a couple of things, and I know that they've been killed, as I said, parents. They didn't use a weapon or something to kill them. It's not like it was something that just fast. It didn't kill them fast.
By bare hands, it was suffocated, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they first been eaten and then suffocated, or I don't know what was the schedule of this thing, but.
Sorry, suffocated and being, sorry? Beaten.
Yeah. I really don't know what was the progress. But as I said, the body was in a very, very bad situation.
They also, like, just because we have international media, they cover, again, I know it's sensitive and I'm sorry.
You can say everything.
No, they then beat the bodies afterwards to try to cover it up to look like it was the Israeli airstrike, right?
Yeah.
And you believe that this happened 3 weeks after they were
Something
taken?
like that, yeah.
I ask you, how do you see the future? I don't know if for you every Palestinian in Gaza is Hamas or not. How do you see the future with them, if it's possible with them there?
About 6 I don't know, 700 meters from here, there is Jaffa. And there is Arabs, the majority of them are Muslims that live. I'm eating in the restaurants, they come, we live together. Okay, if it was a nice day on the beach right now, you could see Arabs and Jews together. So we have no problem with them. But the population in Gaza are not innocent. Because who kidnapped Shiri and the kids are not Hamas in the beginning. The majority of the rape that happened inside of Israel was not Hamas. The majority of things that there was more than 3,000 civilians that came inside Israel and did like everything. Things that you cannot even imagine. And the one that didn't get inside of Israel waited for our people, okay? They were spitting on them, they were eating them, and they celebrate. You can see that they're giving candies on the street. When I see somebody injured, I'm running to give help. I'm not celebrating. I never celebrate about somebody that's been killed in my life. And when the four coffin of Shiri and the kids were released, you see people, mothers and fathers coming with the children to cheer. I will never let my children to see coffin or dead bodies, somebody cheering for somebody that's been killed. We're not cheering right now. Even when Sinwar was killed, I didn't let my children cheer because you don't do that. This is the difference between them. We want to live. We sacrifice living, and they want killing. They want death. They think that if you kill somebody and you've been killed, okay, so you are how to say it? Forgot the word. You are
Martyr.
Exactly. It's like I don't know. I don't know how you can think like that.
So you don't see a future.
Golda Meir once said that if Hamas will order, not Hamas, with the Arabs will order the weapons, there will be peace. If Israel will order the weapon, there will be no more Israel. We want peace. Believe me, I'd rather be on the beach right now. It's not a beautiful day, but I would rather be in a restaurant or walking right now or be with my family instead of doing that. Okay? I have a couple of friends that have been killed in Gaza. We don't want that. Near Oz, the kibbutz that Shiri and the kids were and their parents, it's an heaven. It's an heaven. And the people over there describe all this area, describing like it's 95% of the time it's heaven and 5% hell. That's the saying over there. Because you can sit with the children outside and play, and suddenly, without no reason, a missile will come and fall, and you have 15 seconds. And sometimes you can hear the missiles falling, and then the alarm starts. I don't know any other place in the world that can happen. Something like this can happen.
The hate that Hamas harbors and the Gazans harbor towards Israel and Jews, what is that hate? Is it jealousy? Is it anti-Semitism? In your opinion, what is it?
The Gazan people, I don't know if you know that, but even the Arab countries doesn't want. There's all the Arabs, there's those tribes, okay? And this is like, in the chain food, they are the lowest. Nobody wants them. Egypt doesn't open their borders for them, okay, and they blame in Israel. You go to Egypt, go to Jordan, you have borders with all the countries. Why do they want to come to Israel? Nobody wants them. Their thinking is death. Some of the people that came inside of Israel on the 7th of October and killed and raped and did what they did, there are people that walk inside of Nir Oz. They walked in Be'eri. They kidnapped and murdered a lot of guys, but one of the specific guys that helped them and took them from Gaza to an Israeli hospitals and gave them medicines. And you're killing...
Dead, right?
Huh?
Dead Lifshitz.
Yeah. You're killing you're cutting the head that's feeding you. Because of in the name of hate. There is nothing more.
Do you believe that, I mean, this is like a really loaded question. Do you believe that anybody in Gaza is innocent? I mean, I know like we talk about 3-year-olds that are being taught to like, you know, they have their dolls and they, you know, shoot their dolls thinking, like pretend shoot their dolls thinking that they're Jewish, you know? I mean, at what point, like, do you believe that there is innocence in Gaza?
Yeah, Yarden told me that he told him to one of the people that investigated him in Gaza. And he asked him about peace. The Nukhba asked Yarden about peace. And Yarden told them, I'm teaching my kids to be a peaceful person. When you're going to teach your kids to be one, so hopefully in 10, 15 years from now, everybody will grow to a different place. Yosi, Shiri's father, he was on the left side of the political map. He believed in peace. He believed in, because when he was grew up in those kibbutzes, the border was open, and you know people went to shop in Gaza, and Gazan people came here, and it was like a completely different scenario. And he still remember the people that he grew up with, and those are the same people that he protects, and those are the same people that kill. I don't want to say that everybody over there are bad and you know wants to kill and everybody, but you can see them cheering every time. So you're asking yourself if there is innocent people over there, and they can and couldn't not to elect Hamas, and they're doing that every time, times and times again. So, yeah.
You just said that you would take your children to be a peaceful people.
Yeah.
What does it change in your way to think after all that happened?
Doesn't change anything. We still want to live in peace. We want to live. We want to do things and normal things. We don't want to get up at 4 a.m. with missiles that are coming from Yemen. That we have nothing with Yemen. It's like there is no relationship between us to Yemen. I don't know where they came from. We don't want to. I don't know if you ever visited the north of Israel. It's like a beautiful place.
No, we were there yesterday.
It's a beautiful place, and we cannot go there over there. Now we can, but we couldn't go there for like a year because we were afraid that Hezbollah will start firing missiles on Israel. And go live your life. Go live your life. Lebanon. I was in Lebanon, unfortunately, in the war, but Lebanon is a very beautiful place. Lebanon in the 90s was like people came to Lebanon from all over the world to party and celebrate, and it was a very beautiful place. Choose to live, not to kill. That's what I'm saying. We don't want anything from Lebanon. Israel left Gaza in 95, I think. 2005, okay. So we left Gaza. Okay, we don't want anything in Gaza. We don't want to them. We didn't try to get inside of Gaza once again. The seashore in Gaza is one of the beautiful seashore that we have in the Middle East. Go and live your life. Yeah.
Just want to thank you for coming today. It was really great to hear your story. Probably one of the more moving experiences of my career. Last year, when I toured Nir Oz, I visited the Bibas home, and despite the evidence of all the horrors that happened that day, it seemed like just a beautiful home and a beautiful family. What can you tell us about the Bibas family before October 7th?
The people that live in these places are very, first of all, peaceful persons and people that try to avoid being in loud places and with traffic and everything, and they just want to go and live the life and walk the land and let the kids go outside because there is a lot of green outside that they can just run away, a lot of land. And Shiri was, as much as she was very funny, is a very joyful person and very. Margit, Shiri's parents, and Yosi was both artists. Margit, she was 58, I think, years old when she was murdered. She had Parkinson. because of the trauma that she'd been suffered before from the missiles. So she couldn't even resist. So I don't know why they choose to kill her. And I can say that Kfir, he was 8.5 months old. He didn't do anything to anybody in his life. I think we can all understand that. Ariel was 4 years old. Rather kid that 4 years old usually, there are a lot of energy, especially when you're a reader, okay? So I'm thinking about him like in a month, held in, I don't know where, in a dark place without being able to move or run, and Kfir without this pacifier. And even if you go today to their small apartment, because it's a very small house in Niroz, when you go to the room, there is still the bottle with the formula inside, with what got left from the formula. I don't know who kidnap and kill 8.5 months old baby just because he's Israeli or Jew or whatever. I don't know who does that. And they are not the kind of people that deserve things like that. They are not. If country, even if it's Hamas, okay, fighting against our soldiers, something that can happen. Okay, when you wearing your uniform, you know that something can happen to you. But when you lie down in your crib and Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m., nothing should happen to you. Nothing. Yeah.
Also for me, thanks a lot for coming and not going to the restaurant. How do you explain your kids what happened, or how do they cope with all of that? Do they understand, and how do you try to?
You cannot not tell them. Not tell them. For a year and a half, that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking, living the hostages. I close my business, and I that's what I'm doing. There is hundreds of journalists that came into my house and made interviews. There is hours and hours that I was away from home, all over the world, just to keep the story alive. So it's not something that you can hide from them, especially when you live in Israel and that the war was part of us. It's funny. There was a day that we had the missiles, we had an alarms. I was living in Holon, we left Holon. In 6:30 a.m., okay, we run to the shelters, and 10 minutes after we get out from the shelters and we dress the kids and send them to school. This is how we live here. Again, I'm not asking myself, I'm asking you if there is any chance that something like that will happen in your country. That you will hear an alarm and 10 minutes after you're going to send your kids to school when you know that a missile just fell in one of your neighborhoods. It's like a crazy way to live in. But something happened to us that this is the worst way, the worst thing that can happen to us. We get used to it. We just get used to it. That there is Tseva Adom, everybody's running to the shelter, and 10 minutes after we're sitting back in the restaurant, continue eating, continue drinking, continue doing whatever we did before.
Sorry for asking this, but what makes no sense to me is why would Hamas kill them instead of keeping them as hostages for trading for their terrorists or whatever, for their captives in Israel? Why? It makes no sense why they would kill them.
When you are the devil himself, or worse than the devil, there is no sense.
Do you think maybe it was because taking care of children just takes a lot of effort, more effort than an adult?
It was easier to bring them back. It was a lot easier not to kidnap in the first place.
Right.
If you cannot handle with them, okay,
Sure.
say, this is Kfir, I'm holding Kfir, I want to bring them back, I want to bring him back, okay, I want this and that. And just make the negotiation and bring it back. They will probably get a lot for them.
How soon did you all know that the entire world knew of the boys and their mom, but their situation was sort of representative of the entire situation. Because I know people in the most obscure parts of the United States who could say Kfir Bibas, they knew, they recognized, or they saw that.
Yeah.
The fact that the whole world knew about that. What was that like for y'all to know?
I told it as a joke a lot of time that if Shiri knew how famous she was, she wouldn't want to come back. It's not easy to be in the front. It's not easy. It's not easy. My name is Yosi Shnaider, and a lot of people call me Bibas. Okay, a lot of people phone. I say there is an app that called me that you can see how people listed you on their phone, and I say Yosi Bibas, Yosi Bibas. So it's not easy. It's not easy for me to be in a place that in my kids' school I was very involved, and I think that every parent in the school knew me. Okay. And when there is 5 minutes walking between my old apartment to the school, and it was 5 minutes. And usually in a regular day, it took me like 30 minutes to get there, because everybody stopped me and speak with me and ask me questions about the school and what we planning to do and whatever. Since the 7th of October, since they knew that I'm from the Bibas family, okay, it was like I'm walking with 3 pit bulls. Everybody walked to the other side of the sidewalk. Nobody wants to speak with me. Nobody wants to look me in the eyes. And the one that did that was so, you can see the sad faces. You can see that they don't know what to say to me. They couldn't even say hello, just good morning. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants to.
Can I ask where you were, you personally, on October 7th?
At home, Cholon. We woke up with the alarms, and in the beginning I thought there was something wrong with the system, because there was so many alarms that it didn't make sense.
Where do you live?
In Cholon. It's a city nearby. And unfortunately, as I told in the beginning, I saw Shiri being kidnapped live on Telegram. So I didn't know what to do with that. My instinct as a military guy is to run, to just go there. But he was so vague about if the IDF is there or not, if how many people intruded in Israel. Nobody knew anything, and the fact that everybody was scared that they came into the center of Israel. All the rumors said that they're on the way to so I needed to protect my family. So it was. There is a lot of self-judging, to try to, and always tell myself what could have done better if there is something that I could have done better, and yeah.
Can you share with us, perhaps off the record, if necessary, the name of that European official that whispered in your ear that he agreed with you, perhaps just the party or that he belongs to or the country? That was very relatable, and I think there's actually a lot of people in Europe that agree with Israel or with all the arguments that you brought forward, but that are just afraid to speak up because of they don't want to suffer the consequences, which in a way is both depressing and hopeful. But yeah, so I was just curious about that.
I'm not going to say names, but I can say that we met with a lot of diplomats all over the world. Okay? And they don't care.
Most of them don't care.
They don't care. When I say people don't care, it's not that they didn't, they spoke with us and make those puppy faces, the sad eyes and hug us and I'm sorry. And the minute we left the room, they went back to their business and act like nothing happened. And you can't do that. Again, it's the 3 monkeys. It's in your cities. It was in the universities in the US. It was on Europe with all those propagandas and people that was chatting in the street from the river to the sea without completely understand what it means, but let's say that they did understand what it means and still shouting that. And the pro-terror organization, they just killing people. I don't know if it's hypocrisy, if it's cowardice, if it's stupidity. I don't know where it came from. But that's what you're doing when you're singing and go around. All this. You know, the UN just published a report 3 days ago about the children's situation in Gaza. It was hundreds of pages of. He blamed Israel that we're killing children on purpose. He blamed Israel that we are raping a woman in Gaza as a war tragedy. Okay, I can assure you that there is no one Jewish person that raping Muslim woman. Okay, I can assure that. But that's what they blame us. And it was not even a single word, a single letter about Kfir and Ariel. There was one single word or letter about all the other kids that have been kidnapped, or all the things that happened in the 7th of October to hundreds of kids that seen their parents been killed or been killed by themselves. As I'm saying killed, but they've been murdered. Not even a single word. And this is the UN.
You say that they're indifferent, so they don't really care about the suffering of Israeli citizens on 7th October. They do pretend to care, at least about the Palestinians, but would you say that they don't care about those either, and they just say the things that will score political points and whatever, and their concern is just equally hypocritical?
It's not about what they're feeling inside. It's about what they're saying outside.
Yeah.
And when they're blaming and judging Israel, okay, and giving back win to Hamas, this is the problem. I don't think that they don't know what happened here in the 7th of October. I don't think that they don't know that Hamas is the bad guy and Israel is the good guy. I don't think that they don't know that. But they're choosing to lose their values in the name of holding their chair, the position, in the name of ego, in the name of money. By the way, one of the things of money, okay, Qatar is one of the biggest founder of Hmas, another terror organization, okay? But Hamas is buying football teams and plane company, and they have like business all over Europe and in the US, and you get in Qatar, you let in Qatar to be a very strong position in your countries. So actually, when you go to, I don't remember the name of the store, but one of the biggest store in Europe, when you go and buy clothes over there, you actually found in Qatar that found in Hamas. We playing double role over here. Everybody knows that Qatar found terror, okay? And everybody wants to speak with Qatar and be a friend. I don't want to be a friend with somebody that found in terror. I don't know if I know that my neighbor is found in terror, not terror. If he found in something that I don't like, I won't be his friend. And we're choosing to do that.
Well, yeah, the irony is that actually my university, because I'm an academic, has boycotted not Palestinian universities. They're actually continuing to collaborate with them, but Israeli universities. So it's
in the name of money. This is all about money.
Yeah, in the name of money, and also protecting their social status and flaunting their virtue, and for people with certain ideological persuasions. But yeah, anyway, I completely agree with that.
How is Yarden being treated now? Is he being taken care of by the Israeli government? How are they treating him?
The Israeli government doesn't do anything. He came back like more than a month ago. They didn't even spoke with him once. He's in a hotel right now. He doesn't have his own apartment because Niroz was ruined and he have no place to go. So his parents live with him in a hotel. I don't know for how long, but this is what's happening right now. And unfortunately, the Israeli government just doesn't do it.
Well, why? Why are they don't care?
It's a very good question. When I try to speak with some of them, they say that they didn't say that in this word, but they said that they're afraid to speak with us because maybe we're gonna say something that they don't want to hear. So I'm saying two things. First of all, we are not evolving politic in these scenarios because we just want to hear. We wanted to hear about cheering the kids and what really is doing to release them and everything. And the second thing is, even if I'm gonna say something you don't want to hear, this is your job. You need to hear that. Okay? You need to hear that. when somebody is working in some office, okay, and somebody have a complaint, we need to hear the complaint to improve ourselves, or not to improve ourselves, but at least we need to give him a stage to speak up. And the fact that you're choosing to take 50% of the population and say that they are against them or whatever, it's fortunately that's what happened right now in Israel. We are very strong when we are united, and unfortunately our government makes sure that we're not going to be united.
Do you think the government makes some mistakes?
Every single mistake that you can ever make. Every single mistake.
What, for instance?
First of all, the 7th of October. Everybody in Israel knew that something going to happen. We couldn't start to imagine the 7th of October, but everybody knew that something going to happen. Second of all, it was like a very, very long and huge event, and somebody needed to manage it. So somebody needs to be the manager, the responsible adult, and to build a strategy to understand how we're going to win that. Not just declare, say, this is going to be a win. We're going to finish it with a win. Okay, but how? How? And when we now started fighting in Gaza yesterday, okay, but the first stage of this deal ended 3 weeks ago. And it was 3 weeks that we didn't do anything. And in these 3 weeks, there was no hostage that came back. So in one end, you're not fighting. In the other end, nobody's been released. So what are you doing? And they say that they want to keep like everything calm right now because there is the holiday of the Muslims, I forget, the Ramadan. Who cares? I'm sorry to say that out loud, but who cares? We don't celebrate our holidays for a year and a half now. Nobody's celebrating in Israel, nothing. I don't care from their Ramadan. They want to celebrate Ramadan, no problem. Give us some people back and go live your life.
And what about the strategy now, the bombings in Gaza?
I don't know what's the strategy right now.
Now that the hostages are there?
I don't know what's the strategy right now. I really don't know.
No, but do you think that the bombings will bring the hostages back?
I think that who's going to bring the people back is one person. It's not one person, it's a couple of persons, but it's Trump. Trump brought them back. And the fact that he's standing so strong on the side or behind Israel right now, this is what give me hope that the rest of them will come back. I know that he and Steve Witkoff that I met and other people from his government are working 24/7 for that. And it's amazing they're doing that. It really is amazing.
We're in such crucial moments, as we speak. The situation is still so fluid and unresolved. There are some reports that Hamas is willing to accept any proposal in exchange for a ceasefire resumption. Your immediate thoughts on that?
Hamas will give us, he always gave us and he always will give us excuses to fight. He will never lower down his weapons. So we need to take advantage right now of this situation and first of all bring them back. First of all, we know what they went through. I spoke with him. I know from Eli Sharabi, so everybody saw his interview. We know that they've been through. I don't know how you survive the things that they've been through, but they survived. And when we say every minute is very crucial, it's not just a line, and it's not just something to publish. This is the truth. Shiri and the kids were okay. And something happened in his mind in this second, I don't know what exactly happened to him, and decided to do what he did. That's the 6 hostages in the cave that being murdered, just because he was afraid, because he was hearing the tanks above him. We didn't know that they had. So every single second is crucial. Everything can happen.
In the same breath, does that concern you, knowing the other reports that we've heard from people that actually made it out, as from being hostages, that when in times of peace things are quiet and they're treated a little bit better, they get more food, and in times of war, it's, they're treated even more horribly.
They didn't get food. They didn't get food. Again, they are not in prison in New York. There is alarm right now.
Oh, another one.
They did in Tel Aviv, by the way. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, there is an alarm in Tel Aviv.
Let's go continue there.